All right, Shalom. This is the brother Yakanan, GMS New Orleans, coming at you with another live lesson. As always, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Once again, double honor to the elders apostles of GMS. Peace, blessings, and salutations again to the whole elect out there. And you brothers, tell me if you can hear me on the mic, if you're tuning in. All right. But this lesson here is kind of like, I do these lessons a lot of times where, I go out and about and kind of get a vibe of the people, all right? People around me, just hearing their conversations, what they're talking about. And one thing I've been noticing in the last month or so, various different other nations, and maybe one Jake that's from Venezuela, that a lot of these nations, this is on a low level. I noticed that a lot of these nations out here are starting to bounce, all right, meaning get the hell out of America. All right, I got these guys that live directly across from me. All right, these Turkish guys. Hold on, I am clicking this shit, man. Tell me if you can hear me though. Yeah, I got these Turkish guys that live directly across from me, and I noticed that these guys, just recently, they went to complaining about how here in America, this is not what they thought it was. All right, that they thought it was going to be all peaches and cream, making lots of money. All right, and how basically they came from Turkey, and since they've been here, they've been catching hell. All right, they gotta work at a damn pizzeria. They gotta flip pieces and shit, and a lot of them gotta do Uber. So recently, I think this last what the day is, Thursday. I think Sunday. I think one or two of them just bounced, man. He like, man, I can't deal with this shit no more. All right, this American dream. He all but said this American dream it became a nightmare, man. This is not what I left my country for. All right, and like I say, another account is with this. They got, and brothers down here know what I'm talking about. There's this franchise company, all right, by the name of Brothers, and Brothers. Hold on, let me put this on because I don't need no text message and shit coming through. The particular company called Brothers down here in Louisiana, mainly down here from New Orleans to New Orleans to Baton Rouge, in particular, and a couple other places. These whole bunch of Arab brothers, in particular, they made a lot of money, a lot of fortune on gas stations and shit like that. All right, even those guys, they came into some trouble. All right, some legal trouble and different shit, and all of them left. All right, one of them got into trouble. He fled, and now all of them then fled and then closed down all these gas stations and shit, man. All right, and another, like I said, the Venezuelan guy I was dealing with, he all but said the same thing too. How this is not what I thought it was. All right, it's so hard here. The money, it's hard to get money. All right, the jobs are low. All right. They're talking about the help, and then with the care people is low. It's nothing here, man. It's all but a smoke and mirrors. And he said, I have to. It's typical Jake. Jake will do this shit, but he's like, yeah, I have to. When people call from home, or FaceTime me from home, I gotta fake the funk, basically, man. I gotta act like, oh, this is my car. Or I'm living a lifestyle that I'm not living, man. All right? And he all but talks about going back home. All right? And I know some Moabites, all right, complaining about they are making money as they used to make, man. And they talking about going home. But I'm making this video to say this, man. At some point here, all right, because these nations are, what I'm realizing, these nations out there are starting to realize that there's no more to get here. And they're gonna make a great exodus out of America, man. They're gonna get out of here in a little bit, man. As you can see, all right. Jake don't have money because the The biggest form of making money is off Jake, all right? You Israelites out there, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you the ones that make up, all right, make the money for all these other nations that come over here from cross seas with their different bodegas and stores and corner stores and shit, all right? Whether they buying food from you, whether they're buying hair, trinkets, toys, you name it, they make money off you Jakes. And now that you don't have any money, and now that the economy is bad, because you got what I'm saying now, man, the economy, we basically in a recession, all right? A hard recession, all right? And the money is not there, okay? All right? Cost of living is not there, man, all right? You got these nations talking about, because this guy, like I said, the guy across the street, this guy got out of here, man. I'm talking about he had a little BMW, sold that shit all in 1 week, all right? Gave some stuff away, and he bounced on the plane, man. This guy came over here thinking it was gonna be all good. He's gonna make, and that's the story, and that's the lie been told to you nations too, that you're gonna come over here to the land of milk and honey and make all this money and be a celebrity and all this shit, and you find out the hard way, man. And that's what this guy was saying. He's like, man, I left my family, my wife. I'm like, damn, dude, I didn't even know you was married. He's like, yeah, I got a wife, kids and shit. Like, man, I'm getting the hell out of here, man. I can't deal with this shit no more. All right? But I'm going to get some scriptures, too, man. All right? Get some scriptures, too. All right? This one that came to my mind was Ecclesiastes 3:1. It is to everything, there's a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. All right? And we're in a season, all right? We're in that season of great loss, all right? Great regret, all right? And we also in a time, all right, we're living in the times of no peace, man, all right? But basically great destruction and judgment, all right? And you nations out there, you under this delusion that everything is all good, that you're going to make scores of money, you're going to be rich, super, uber rich, all right? And you're just going to be on top. And that's just not the case, all right? They done sold you a nightmare, man. You jakes out there that think you're going to be on the corporate ladder, you done got sold a nightmare too, okay? And like I said, that's why you got even Americans, man, that's been here, born and raised, they're getting the hell out of here at alarming rates, man, all right? People are bouncing from America, man, all right? Like I said, you brothers got scriptures out there, you can put them on the comment board too, all right? But it says, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, and a time to break down and to build up, all right? A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, all right? And we're in the time of, of mourning, man, all right? Great loss is going to happen at record numbers, man. That's why people are already seeing, all right, these nations, these other nations out here, they bouncing early, man. They can see what the forecast is going to be here, all right? They can see that the political turmoil is going to happen at an all-time rate, all right? The uproars of Jake. So they selling every goddamn thing, man. They're selling the houses, the cars, the homes, whether it be condos and shit, and they getting the hell out of here. Like I said, a lot of Americans that have been here are bouncing too, man. Okay? It says a time to cast down stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. And that's the time we're in too, all right? You can see that there's a great divide here in America amongst Americans, man. Whether it be different political parties against others, that's been a thing. That's been a thing that's been a build-up, man. All right? So we're in a time where all hell's going to break loose. All right? And like I said, these nations, and like I said, I'm giving like, 4 different accounts. I start putting it together. I'm like, damn. So-and-so done left. This guy done left. All right, you go into the store, you might be cool with a couple of Arabs at the corner store around my way. I'm like, hey, man, where your brother at? He's like, he got the fuck, man. My dad's leaving too. But that's the time we in. What time we in, man? Okay? You got these jakes that got a little money too, all right? They trying to hold on to their riches. They trying to get the hell out of here, man. Here too. I think that guy, Johnny Depp, a lot of these celebrities, or even that nigga Tyrese, man. He didn't went to Dubai and shit or whatever. but hey, man, you can't run from judgment, right? Judgment's gonna happen anywhere, anywhere, and especially over here. The main salvation is gonna happen over here too. You know, a lot of you guys, and that was going on back then when I was coming in. You know, you had these flee America Israelites, man. Go to Egypt, go to this place, that place, all right. And those places ain't gonna be where the mass salvation, the mass deliverance is gonna happen at, all right. A lot of you guys, and like I said before, you done went to these different places, and then they had little wars and shit broke out where you had to come back home. All right? But it says a time to get, a time to lose. All right? That's the time we're in. A time of losing, man. A time to keep, a time to cast away. All right? We're in a time of great losses going to happen. All right? People are losing homes and cars and record numbers, man. Bankruptcy at an all-time high. All right? And like I said, including these other nations that came over here and have begun to get rich, get loans, get businesses, man. All right, everything's starting to belly up and flop. All right. So a lot of them feeling like before I lose it all, I'd rather go back home. Okay. It says a time to love and a time to hate, a time to war and a time of peace. Which we ain't in a time of peace, man. All right, we ain't in a time of love. We're in a time of great hate going on. Great divide, all right? Like the Lord said, man, a nation divided against itself, how can it stand? All right? And this nation here, Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America, is divided. All type of levels, man. On all sorts of levels. But I'm going to bring this other one out real quick. Let me get it. All right? There we go. Oh, no. Ecclesiastes. Okay. 12:3. Yeah, this is Ecclesiastes 12:3. Let me see. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. And it says, a day, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, all right, and the strong men bow themselves, and the grinding cease, because they are few, and though they look out of the windows be darkened, all right. And the keepers of the house, they'll start with the international bankers, starting with those people that deal with business and commerce of Wall Street, all right. Those are the people that's in the state of trembling, all right. All right, it says, the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease. The grinding ceasing dealing with work. You're seeing it. You're seeing right now. All right, the government is shut down, and you better be looking for a lot of these government workers. All right, from the military all the way down to the guy that's pushing mail. All right, the government jobs are gonna be out of work. Okay, and they're gonna have record number of layoffs, man, furloughs and shit going on. All right, and that's what we're in. We're in the time of the grinding season. Work, it ain't gonna be no work, especially down here in Louisiana, man. It's already scarce times of work. You can't get a job. It's all formulated with gatekeeping, man. You know, you gotta know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody in order to get a job, especially a good one. All right. So, and I can see why these nations are getting the hell out of here, man. All right? Especially here. This shit is nothing but an illusion, smoke and mirrors, especially this city, man. It come off all, try to be all glitz and glamour, and it's a shithole, man. Just to be straight, all right? Just to be blunt and straight, it's a shithole, man. All right, like I said, I talked with this guy right here. He was like, hey, man, this ain't it, man. I was what that guy said he was an electrical engineer back at home, just to come over here. You know, he came past the test over here to be a electrical engineer. That's for one, because he can barely speak English. He can barely comprehend. Then they come over here to I gotta push pieces and drive over, man. He's like, fuck that. I'd rather go back home, you know. But it goes on to say, because there are few. And those that look out of the windows be darkened, which that deals with America's America's future, it ain't no future, man. All right, all right. It ain't no future here in America. It's it. All right, you can wrap it up, man. Okay, and these nations are seeing this. These other nations out there, and like I say, you brothers out there in your part of town, you know, you might overhear the conversation, or you might see a neighbor bounce, man. We in a time of these nations about to get the hell out of here. All right, all right, in great numbers. You might see a place that was once a Korean spot, a corner store. It was there today, and you wake up tomorrow, they gone, man. And now when I say go, they going back home. They shut down shop because there is no more money to make. America is done. Okay? It's only going to be a matter of time till you 2/3. You're not going to wake up to the very last moment, man, and realizing what the hell going on. That's on a whole other note. 12:4 it says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low." All right? The sound of the work is low, and we're in that time. Work is low. The morale is low. All right? Pay, everything is low, man. But hey, your pay is not catching up with the price of goods, man. The food, the gas, all right, electricity. You know, electricity bill. They got Edomites complaining out here now. I seen it on the news right before I did the video. Fucking Edomite light bill. He's trying to wonder how it get like that. You know, their light bill was $2,200, man. You're like, man, I stay here by myself. How the fuck my bill get to $2,200? You know, and the water high. Well, we gotta start charging. We gotta start taxing because, you know, they're even talking about taxing. You know, where we used to bring it at downtown. All right, the parking downtown. They talking about going up on that, man. All right, and that shit was already high when we was down there on the block. You know, got to put the money in the machine to get a ticket and shit. So everything is up. All right. Let me see what I got. And when the sound of the grinder is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the birds, and the daughters of music shall be brought low, which we see now too. The daughters of music are brought low. All right, these motherfuckers, celebrities ain't making no these entertainers, these guys that make music and rap and shit, they ain't making no money no more, man. All right, these motherfuckers you know, back when we was coming up, 80s, 90s. Even in the 70s and shit, man. You know, these guys used to make millions of dollars, sell millions of records. These motherfuckers are happy now just to get 50,000 records sold, man. 100,000. That's a lot to a nigga. A nigga might go gold or platinum on that shit. All right, but when see when some of these other artists was out, they was selling millions on top of millions. Michael Jackson and shit, now, you know. But it show you everything is brought low. Everything is down here, man. All right? The morals of the people are down. The spirit down. All right? And like I say, just to stay on top of these nations are seeing this and they getting the hell out of here, man. It is, like I said, that's just me speaking as a man. Like I'm just saying from the standpoint of what's going on around me right now, man. All right? As soon it will be a mass exodus out of America, man. When these nations start catching on that the economy is going to shit, there ain't no more to make here, they gonna bounce, man. Cause they was only here to make money. They was only here to feed off this beast system. All right. But let me go here. This is you know, oldie but goodie. I'm gonna get straight to the point. This is Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. And it shall come to pass. My bad. Hold on, he went to the wrong one. Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. And it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. All right. It shall every man turn to his own people. You see, and flee every one into his own land. And that time is coming, man. You know, and like I said, it's happening on a low level, you know. And like I said, you brothers out there can probably pay attention to what's going on in your city, in your town, all right, with certain people or other nations. But it's happening in my little area. It's starting to happen, man. These other nations are starting to get the hell out of America, all right? All right, and like I sooner or later, you know, for political turmoil, people are gonna be divided. All right, houses are gonna be split in half, man. All right, especially you guys that deal with the other nations, the other nation women and shit, or whatever. All right, people gonna go back. It's gonna get so bad to where people gonna go, back to their different sides, man. All right, these nations are gonna go back home. All right, to hell with America. No money, no live, can't live. People gonna bounce, man. And which, like I said, on a low level now, they're starting to get out of here. The hell with it getting bad. I'm gonna get out of here now. I'm gonna jump ship now. You know. I'm gonna get this other scripture real fast. I had them in no particular order, but hey, we're gonna get it. This is Jeremiah. All right, Jeremiah 51:8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. However, her make balm for her pain. All right, if so be she may be healed. All right, we would have healed Babylon. All right, but she is not healed. Forsake her, let us go, every one into his own country. And you see, for her judgment reacheth up to the clouds, and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, and these nations are waking up to this, man. It is no more to be got in this whore, man. There's nothing else to do. Everything is brought low, man. There's no money here. Like I say, when you deal with those Koreans, all right, those Moabites, some Ammonites, they here to make money. Whether that be off Jake, Esau, whoever. When that goes, they go. All right, these goddamn Africans, that's what they here for, man. All right, these Arab nations and shit, they here to make money. All right, and they can't do that, because of these tariffs, because of these different things that's provisions and shit that's put up. They gonna bounce. All right, and we're gonna come into a time where that's gonna be brought on the news, man. All right. They already got accounts out there where California, people in California is dipping, Texas, Dallas, Houston, because of the living costs, man. The living costs, the taxes. All right. People are making life decisions as we speak, whether to be here or go back home. All right. Let me see what else I got. I think that no. Yeah, that was it. But yeah, but Babylon is not healed, man. All right, this whore is on her last leg. All right, we just as we speak, man. We waiting for the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Shah, man, to destroy this bitch, man. All right, to basically utterly destroy this whore, man. All right, as we wait patiently. All right, because we know through fate. All right, through fate, man, we know that Yahweh Shah is coming back. All right, to put this so-called white man down and put these nations in subjection, man. All right, and that's why we gotta wait patiently. So with all this happening and collapsing around us, man, we gotta keep our faith and still believe, man. All right, push these scriptures, hit the block until the Lord pulls us in, man. All right, but we gotta keep pushing. We just come off High Holy Day. All right. Afflicting our souls, the Day of Atonement. All right, there's still more work to be done. All right, there's still more to prophesy about, man. There's still more to condemn in America. Like I said, brothers keep putting up those curses, man. They're working. Okay, let me get this last one. This last one real fast, man. All right. This is Zephaniah. Hold on, Salaki. Okay. Yeah, this is Zephaniah chapter 14, and I could have went up to 11, because 11 gets on, like with the economy and everything. Which this economy is not it's not thriving. As I said, like I said, we basically in a recession without them saying we're in a recession. All right, we're in a time now. All right, even with this government shutdown. All right, we in some times, man, to where this can bring out a lot of other turmoil, a lot of other things to start happening when people start these people that's in the government are not able to pay their bills, man. All right, a lot can come out of that. But I'm gonna get to the point that I'm gonna go down to 14. I'm gonna read 18. Was getting into the destruction. All right, so that's ultimately what's gonna happen. Zephaniah 1:14 says, "In the day of the Lord, the great day of the Lord is near. It is near, and hastily greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Lord, the mighty men shall cry there bitterly." You see, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble, and distress, a day of wastefulness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. All right, a day of trumpets and alarms against defense cities. All right, and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung. All right? And that's the times we're coming in, man. All right? Aside from these nations getting out of here, it's still gonna go down here in America. All right? You're not gonna be able to put this off. This is biblical prophecy that's gonna take place. All right? In that order. That's what we say down here, in that order, man. All right? Verse 18. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in that day. You see? So your money, all right, your money, your different assets and things that you have and investments, shit, it ain't gonna be able to save you in that day, man. All right? You nations out there, ain't gonna be able to save you too. You jakes out there, it's not gonna be able to save you. All right? When the Lord allows this thing to go down, man, you're gonna lose everything. All right? Everything. Especially you nations out there too, man. I can't stand y'all proud asses. Like I said, these guys cross me like I say, you try to be at peace with all men, but they're proud though, man. It's, they tell you, oh, I'm Turkish, but I don't even believe that shit. But they proud though, man. They some proud ass. Some other nations are proud against Jake, man. All right, they think they're above us. They think they you should be their their servants. They speak real brass and shit, man. All right. So the hell with them too, man. You nations out there, man, that tune in and listen and scoff. Hey, you better get the hell out of here, man. All right. You better fulfill prophecy and get the hell out of here. For what the Lord's gonna do here in Babylon, all right, you might not make it, man. Because the Lord's gonna bring down the hammer on you nations and 2/3 of His own people, man. So hey, if you got the means, to get there, you better dip out of here, man. Or you better go cash out your credit cards, wild out, man. You nations out there, you Edomites, you better wild out. We said that before. Years ago on the block, you better get all that you can get out this whore, man. You got those different credit cards. Hey, man, ring them up. All right. Well, other than that, hey, man, the hammer's coming down. Okay. So neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in that day of the Lord's wrath. You see, because the Lord's wrath finna come, man. Right? You can try to get out the way of that ass whooping all you want, but it's coming down. It's coming down on the world, man. On the world, Craig. All right? The Lord's wrath is coming down on the world, Craig. I don't know what the hell you think you're gonna run. You can't run from the Lord, the Lord's wrath. You can go wherever the hell you want to go. Back home, in a goddamn cave. I don't give a damn. The Lord gonna get your ass, man. All right? But the whole land shall be devoured by his fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. That's what's gonna happen here. You can run, but you can't hide, man. The Lord's gonna make a speedy riddance of America. All right, and those that have become fat and rich off America, you gonna get it too. You jakes out there that have become rich and fat and wax fat in wickedness. That's what really it is, man. It ought to be when you start really looking at shit, how it is and what it's hitting for. You learn real quick out here that you gotta be super duper wicked and defiled to be rich here and to have wealth here in America, like talking about it, man. Nine times out of 10. So the Lord gonna get them too. You know? Let me see. Yeah, that's a good one, brother. 1 Corinthians, what is it, 7:31? And they that use the world as not abusing it, for this fashion, this world passes away. That's right. Fashion of this world passes away, man. And we finna see that. You know, we finna see that on a large scale. Oh yeah, the 32. All right, so like, let's see, 29. What this brother got? Oh yeah, that's a good one. All right, the brother GMS with Chariots 144. In 1 Corinthians 7:29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. Right, the times are short, man. Right, it remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they have none. None. That's right. See, put something else. 29, this 30. Okay. And they that weep as though they weep not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoice not, and they that buy as though they possess not. Yeah, because man, we're in a time. Hey, we're in a time. You know, you're gonna want to be off the radar, man. You know, you ain't gonna want to be the guy. You got so much in it, people seeing it, man. Hey, because hey, man, these motherfuckers robbing. He's robbing other nations now, man. You know, we just had a big killing down here yesterday, man. Well, you know, a particular guy got ran up on at the daycare center with his child, man, for his car. You know, they're making a big thing out of it out here. All right, but we ain't in them times, man. You don't want to lay low. You want to be off the radar. You ain't want to seem as if you got a lot going on, man. All right. Let me see. I'm going back up. Yeah, it's John 12, and let me see if John 12 and 25. It says, "He that loveth his life shall lose it." All right. He that hated his life in this world shall keep it until life eternal. Yeah, man. So you love this life, you want to keep your possessions and all that other shit, you're gonna lose your life over here, man. All right. Let me see. Go down. That brother has something too. Let's see what Yeah, I brought that one out. The water. That brother Yash. Yeah, the water. Coming for it, man. But I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shabbat, Shem Kakadash. Once again, double honor to the elders apostles again. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Until next time, Shalom.